curious what smart means to you guys.
Smart is like to know and understand and comprehend and things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like just being very specific and like intentional with the work that you want to put out.
Yeah. That's actually a really great way to describe it. And I think that's a big part of what we're trying to do at the foundation with a lot of the people that we work with, is to be intentional about the goals that we're setting. If you don't have a target that you're trying to hit, it's awful difficult to kind of point your energy towards something. What about brave?
I think someone brave or being brave is someone who isn't afraid of not the consequences, but opinions, backlash, stuff like that. They're not afraid to be them and do what they want to do and what they think is right.
I definitely feel like brave is being able to step out and do what nobody else would like be willing to do, and doing like what you feel like is right.
Yeah, it feels like it's important to stand on some principles.
Right.
You know, and sometimes it takes a lot of courage to go and engage with people that have different perspectives, you know.
If you actually try to bring the community and everyone sees that, okay, just because we're doing it a different way, that doesn't change that we have the same goal. I feel like that would help escalate the growth of our community and de-escalate the violence, the poverty.
Some of what we see happening in the community in relation to violence, some might say, well, that's just happening over there, but actually it affects all of us, right? It affects all of our sense of safety. It affects all of our perception of our community, you know? And if we want a community that's vibrant and thriving, we got to figure out how we engage people from different perspectives so that we can make some headway, you know what I mean?
So with your perspective, like, what would you say is like the biggest like issue facing Rochester today?
I actually think that the biggest challenge that we have to confront, like the biggest challenge, is cynicism. Cynicism is the opposite of hope. And so what we have to do is we have to overcome that cynicism. And one of the things that's happening here, right, is that when people see like a brand new building go up and a new space, it's like, oh snap, it's a very visible representation that things can change. When I was a young person, I was involved in a lot of activities. And one of the people that I was involved in those activities with is now the mayor. And I'm leading the community foundation. And, you know, we were both going to a lot of youth activities. And I think, you know, we would both say that those activities had an impact on us that helped us to become the leaders that we are today. And that's what I hope for you guys, right? That being here at TE is sets you up to become the leaders that we're definitely going to need in this community for today and tomorrow.
How can like other leaders like you ensure success for the youth for the future?
One of the principles that we get from the indigenous community that occupied this space is what they describe it as 7 generations thinking. Don't just think about what you want for today or even what you want for tomorrow, but you think 7 generations into the future. What decisions am I making right now, and how are those decisions going to impact folks that haven't even been thought of yet?
How has Rochester shown resilience during its difficult times, and how can we build on that resilience?
What I'm starting to see that gets me so excited is when I see young leaders like yourselves, when I see a little less young leaders like myself, who are emerging into some of these new roles and new positions that are trying new strategies, that are trying to be smart, that are trying to be innovative, that are trying to, you know, come up with new approaches, that are willing to have courage and speak up and tell the truth and do it honestly, and that are committed to being here. I think that we are at an inflection point in this town. I think that it's been difficult for a long time, but there's a lot of signals that things are getting ready to change. So I'm excited about the opportunity for us to embrace one another and do something different. Y'all are gonna be right in the middle of that.
Yeah, absolutely.